And we have finished the question that are asked based on makers, and now let's solve the question that are asked based on states. And the first question I'm going to solve is the second one. Identify the top 5 states with highest penetration rate in two-wheeler and four-wheeler EV sales in fiscal year 2024. Let's understand what is penetration rate in a very simple way. Imagine in one state, 10,000 vehicles were sold in total, and out of that, 1,000 were electric vehicles. So the penetration rate is 1,000 divided by the 10,000 equal to 0.10. That's 10%. This means 10% of the total vehicles were sold in that states were EVs. And that's actually adoption rate of electric vehicles. Not just how many were sold, but how deep they are penetrating the market. Now in our project, we are going to use this same logic. We will divide the EV sales column from our state table by the total vehicle sales column, which includes electric plus non-electric vehicles. This will give us a new metric called penetration rate percentage for each state. And based on that, we will find the top 5 states where EV adoption is actually the highest, not just by sales volume but by percentage. This kind of metric is very useful in real world analytics, especially for government reports, market research, and business strategy. Do you remember we have created this two new measure, right? We have summed up the column in the state table and created total EV sales per state and total sales per state measure. I'm going to divide this both measure and create a new measure called penetration rate. And I'm going to create a new page and name it as state analysis. State analysis. And I'm going to create a new measure called penetration rate. In percentage, and I'm going to use a function called divide. It will help us to divide the both measures, and we need to divide the total EV sales per state measure with the total sales per state measure, and click comma and type 0. And I'm using 0 because in case when we divide this both and the denominator is 0 or a blank value, that will affect our report. So if I type 0, it will return 0 when the denominator is blank. We are using the divide function just to avoid errors. That's it, simple. Close the bracket and click enter. And now I'm going to use the bar chart again, this time the stacked bar chart, and drag and drop the measure we created in the x-axis. And now you need to drag and drop the state in the y-axis. We have got all the state, but we only want to filter down the state based on the penetration rate. So click the visual, go to filter and click state and change the basic filtering into top 10. And we need a top 5 states. And it will ask us by which value do you want to filter down, and drag and drop the penetration rate here and click apply filter. And now we have got the top 5 states based on the penetration rate, and click the visual and copy paste and change the filter into bottom 5. And now we have got the top 5 states and bottom 5 states with the penetration rate. In this visual, we are looking at penetration rate by state. That means how many EVs were sold compared to the total vehicle sales in that state. We have used two bar charts side by side. The left one shows the top 5 states with the highest EV penetration, and the right one shows the bottom 5 states. This kind of visual is great when you want to do a comparison between best and worst performers. What we see here is Goa has the highest EV penetration rate, close to 10%, which is quite impressive. On the flip side, states like Sikkim, Nagaland, and Arunachal Pradesh have extremely low penetration rate, almost negligible. So this helps decision makers quickly identify which states are leading the EV movement and where there is huge untapped potential. Now click the measure and convert it into percentage. Go to the makers analysis and click control and select this filters and slicers and control C and paste here. When we copy slicers from the makers analysis page to our state analysis page, Power BI asks us whether to sync or don't sync. If you select the sync option, changes you make in one page will also reflect on the other page. If you select the don't sync, changes will only affect the current page. If you are not sure which to choose, go with the sync. It keeps the things consistent. And also, very important thing is copy pasting visuals or slicers is a powerful time saver in Power BI. So you don't need to rebuild the same thing from scratch.